On today's Buckeye Roast, we start with the top games of Week 10, including the biggest matchups that could shape the playoff race. We'll check in on the latest Heisman odds, break down the Hartline rumors, and ask the question, is Kenny G really ready to take that role on if changes come? Then we'll talk about what Ohio State can learn from the upcoming Penn State matchup, and close with the big picture questions. Should fans be concerned the Buckeyes might have played a 2-game schedule this season? I'm Chris Drew, and this is the Buckeye Roast with Ron and Q right here on Dead Air Sports. Make sure you like and subscribe.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. We are back for another episode of the Buckeye Roast. It's your boy Ron James here with my guy QP Ski. Q, how you doing?
I'm cold as hell, Ron. I'm good, man. Pulled an all-nighter last night. Obviously, flight was out at 6:30 in the morning. I'm on the way out in Utah right now. So flight was early. I said, heck with it. I'll just pull an all-nighter. I scheduled a ride on Uber. This is nothing against Uber. They may be a sponsor one day, but it didn't come through. So took the Waymo, made it just in time, and I made it here. So I'm here in sunny Utah.
Sunny Utah. It sounds like you're in chilly Utah. Q,
No,
it is spooky season, and we have started the show with some spooky facts every day this week. I have 10 facts about Halloween, but we're going to just talk about a few of them. Q, what do you think people have spent more money on in 2015? Costumes or candy?
I'm going to go candy.
In the United States, that's a great guess because, I mean, we are the diabetic nation. No, we're not. It is costumes, 4.3 billion, which means these costumes are overpriced because clearly, I mean, the candy's the better buy, no?
Yeah, it's like obviously everybody's going to get one costume. Like me, I buy one costume a year. So, you've seen some of them on the show. So I buy one costume a year, but I mean, candy at the after, like before, you got to have some so people can come to your house. Obviously, after they go on sale, so it's like, oh, the bag that was $10 is now $3. I'm getting 8 of them. So I am surprised, but costumes can, especially the way they are nowadays, they do get expensive.
Well, I'm going to be contributing to that candy number. They haven't factored mine in. Q, my stat of the day, I had exactly 0 trick-or-treaters last year, and I'm still buying candy this year. Why? Because if no one takes any, Ron gets to eat it all.
So I did when my mom used to make me hand out candy. It's like the old 1 for you, 1 for me, 1 for you, 2 for me.
For those unfamiliar, I live in an area called Mount Washington, which is at the top of the city in Pittsburgh. If you're familiar with the inclines and where the overlooks sit, that is up where I live. And I don't blame kids for not trick-or-treating around there because you might get to like maybe 9 houses because you might as well be trick-or-treating on Mount Everest. not the most walkable of towns.
No, I feel that. My parents live in a neighborhood where it's an acre apart for a house. So I'm like, ain't no point. Even me, I'm leaving. I'm going to the townhouses. Gotta get the bang for your buck. Townhouses is definitely where it's at.
Absolutely. Well, Q, we got an action-packed show, so we are going to get right into it. But first, a message from our sponsors.
Hey guys, we got a lot of cool stuff going on the channel right now, so make sure you like and subscribe. Obviously, Ron and Q are doing a great job going daily for the Buckeye Roast, and then me and Tyler are sprinkled throughout the week doing all things Ohio sports. The channel hit 3,000 subs super quickly, and we couldn't do that without you guys, and we want to continue to grow. So make sure you like and subscribe, and we appreciate you guys as always. What does my little brother do? He goes, peace.
One question. I seen a Dead Air hoodie in that sponsorship video, and I'm pretty sure I work for Dead Air Sports if I'm not too certain. I don't got one of those.
Actually, Speaking of that, I'm glad that you brought that up because I've been meaning to put the pictures on the show, and I will have them for tomorrow. But our listeners, Posh and Ben Vargo, made Dead Airhead hoodies and delivered them in Columbus to Chris. Ben Vargo has one, Posh has one, Chris has one, and I said to Chris, I'm like, man, do we need to get merch? Because it looks like people want the merch. Let's take another look at that hoodie that Chris Drew got on.
Hey guys, we got a lot of cool stuff going on the channel right now, so make sure you like and subscribe. Obviously, Ron and Q are doing a great job going daily for the Buckeye Roast, and then me and Tyler are sprinkled throughout the week doing all things Ohio sports. The channel hit 3,000 subs super quickly, and we couldn't do that without you guys, and we want to continue to grow. So make sure you like and subscribe, and we appreciate you guys as always. What does my little brother do? He goes, peace.
That hoodie's sharp, man.
we getting shafted. I mean, I know I'm on the West Coast, but we don't got to take the Oregon Trail. The USPS does exist.
Shipping prices are out of control these days, bro.
Yeah,
Hashtag terrorists. But Q, we got an action-packed show to get into. We got our advertising down. I'm glad that we have this sponsorship with Dead Air Sports to promote Dead Air Sports. So let's get into it, man.
One more thing before I got to bring this up before we really get started. I found a friend in Utah here. My main guy, Bulbasaur. I see him at Walmart, and I said I have to have it. So he'll be here next to me while we do the show. A new fan. All right, man. Play the song. Let's get
Q, the spooky facts have co-opted the start of the show, so we had to push the football facts to the start of the show, and I'm just letting you know now, I'm going to have so many turkey and side dish stats for November leading up to Thanksgiving. You guys are going to get tired of it. But until then, back to football.
All right, let's talk about it. So, actually, I have the early fact of the day, Ron. This is for you. I didn't know if you knew this, but I saw this number, so I had to bring it up. So, obviously, talked about James Franklin getting the can, Brian Kelly getting the can, obviously, a few other coaches. So, teams this season have totaled $169 million plus, maybe a little more than that, in total buyout money so far. What is your reaction to that number?
Where's that money when I've been laid off? I've been laid off multiple times in my life, and there wasn't no hundreds of $1 million waiting around for Ron. I don't know. I must be working for the wrong corporations because my severance has never looked anything like that. That the first thing that comes to mind is, man, I'm in the wrong field. Like, since when? Like, when am I gonna get the record-breaking Twitter Hall of Fame Twitter coach buyout? When are we gonna see that headline? $10 million Ron James bought out of his Twitter account. First deal of its kind. Stop tweeting, sir.
I don't even get $1.69 walking out the door, let alone a million or any type. I'm with you. We're in the wrong business, man. We need to start coaching and coaching our asses off.
I'm right there with you, man. That number is insane, but then it's also like, you mean to tell me you guys haven't been paying the players, and now everybody's crying broke? What have you been doing with all your money all this time? Like, I'm just fused by how we've got to this point that we can just pay $50 million buyouts, buy another $100 million total for a single buyout, because that's what they're saying. Like, by the time you calculate these staffs and then what they're going to have to pay for whoever they're going to acquire, we're talking about $100 million deals. But then in 2-3 years, they're going to be asking the fans for more money to buy players. How's that work?
Yeah. I don't know. You know, the money spending is always bottomless. If you say we don't have any money, we need more, we make these big acquisitions. So it's an endless cycle. So hit your NIL, donate, because we still need the money regardless of how much we make in the season. One more thing is we talk about buyouts and jobs lost. This wasn't in the show notes, but Ron, I was looking at LSU and they had just fired their OC as well. And I'm just thinking, like, Brian Kelly's gone, the OC's gone. Who's coaching? Like, who's out there calling plays now?
They did announce the interim coach, but I don't remember who it is, which means, I mean, clearly it's no one of importance. Like it's not going to be anyone that's going to be there much longer. The biggest thing that they've been talking about is the fact that Brian Kelly got rid of the strength guy at LSU. And I can promise you, whoever's coming in again is cleaning house, like it or not. I don't think they're going to be keeping too many people around in Baton Rouge.
Yeah, it's going to look completely different, but I was just wondering that. But speaking of jobs, we got a list of, Ron, he talked about it. You want a big time buyout. We got quite a list of jobs here that you could choose from.
Absolutely. We are going to take a look at the top jobs list as soon as I get this graphic loaded, because as I look at the slideshow that we have in here, it is missing that slide. So I'm grabbing that graphic as we speak. But Q, before I pull the graphic up, how much time have you had to look at it?
Nothing. I got an honest reaction.
How much time have you had to look at this graphic?
Yeah, I had about 10 seconds, and I said this would be good.
Do you know who the top job is?
Yeah, I do.
Do you have any idea who the top job is?
LSU, of course. Right now, LSU.
Of course it is LSU. We got LSU at number 1, Florida at number 2, Penn State at 3, Arkansas at 4, Virginia Tech at 5. Do you think any of these, before we get into some of these jobs, as you look at 6 through 12, did any of these jobs get shafted? Should one of them be higher? Do you think any of them belong in the top 5?
The only one, I mean, top 5 is hard. I guess the only one you could make a case for, and we talked about this earlier in the season, is
Kent State.
I feel like no. No, I mean, no disrespect to Kent State. shout out
I was worried about getting that joke in there because there was a little bit of a lag about a minute ago in the show, and I was like, man, if our timing's off, that joke's gonna be ruined if there's a lag in the show right now.
Lucky for you, we're back, but that's not.
We're back.
I was looking at. I mean, you could make a case for UCLA if you just factor in like location, probably their school is, finances. Like, I feel like it could be a play. And I don't know if you agree. That feels like a place that it's in Cali. We know the recruiting base. We know their alumni are going to have money. UCLA is one of the hardest schools really to get into. So definitely you go there, you're getting paid. Like, it just feels like a school that has a lot of potential that has just yet been untapped. And again, we saw what Chip Kelly was able to do at Oregon. I mean, he was there and you almost forgot about he was at UCLA. So I don't know if it's just missing the right coach or it's just not as promising as it looks. But I don't know. Do you think UCLA is a school that is just untapped potential?
Well, Q, I don't know how many people in this state listen to our show. I know someone who is an alumni of a university from this state. His wife is from this state. Does not live in that state anymore. I'm not convinced that Sacramento State isn't a better job than Arkansas because you just get to live in California instead of Arkansas. And I just find it hard to believe when you're looking at these jobs that living in Arkansas and being in the SEC, a bottom tier team in the SEC, is better than just losing in LA.
Well, I would much rather lose in LA if I had to lose at one of them. It'd be more fun.
That's what I'm saying. So I think just purely off of geography, you have to put one of the California schools ahead of Arkansas.
Yeah, and I know Stanford, obviously, they're a little bit different now. They're trying to work their way up. They have a GM of football, obviously, that we all know. So, I mean, maybe, but I think UCLA, man, I'm just looking at it like they should be good. They're in Southern Cal. They're right there. I mean, we talk about USC's been on the come up lately. We're seeing what you're able to do there, and they're not even really getting the Cali talent in yet like they should. Like, UCLA is another one of those that could flip, and I just feel like if you're looking at top 5, that would be the one to break through because the rest of them is like, I don't know if I want to be there unless I'm getting an education.
I mean, I have a deep cut for people that play college football 2026. UCLA is a sleeper rebuild team on dynasty mode. They have built-in advantages that no other school has. It has one of the highest campus life ratings on the game, which is something that you can improve. It has A+ academics, which is something that you also cannot edit on the game. So, and it's in the Big Ten. Those are 3 uneditable grades on the game that give you a boost in the dynasty. So if you're playing college football 2026 and you're looking for a sleeper team that's a fun rebuild, you could turn UCLA into an absolute powerhouse because you can combo the California pipeline with the Texas pipeline because it's still relatively close enough to still get those kids. So if you want a fun rebuild on college football 2026, check out UCLA. That is a sleeper giant team.
And want to add in there, I have a friend and he sends me pictures from the UCLA track team all the time. And so he clearly supports women's track out there. So there is some other talent around just to help your recruiting. You know, it can't be that hard.
Yeah, because I'm sure there's a shortage in LA that they're gonna have to rely on the track team. Q.
I'm just saying, if your track team look like that, what's the rest of the student body look like?
All right, well, now enough of us stomping out Arkansas. Q. When you look at these 3 jobs at the top, LSU, Florida, Penn State, which one of these teams is the most frustrated by all of these other jobs opening up? Because I feel like each one of these teams in their own right believe that they're an in-demand job, but they're about to find out where they really fall in the pecking order with this many openings. And 3, I mean, we're looking at 3 teams. I mean, Penn State, not really, but I mean, LSU and Florida, both teams with national championships in the last 25 years. Penn State considered a blue blood. So, I mean, that's just 3 powerful jobs. And Virginia Tech, we talked about it the other day. That used to be a power back in my day, like when we were younger. So there's lots of great jobs out here and still many more to come open. I know you don't want to hear this. You might want to plug your ears while I tell the audience this. Mike Norvell is going to get fired at Florida State. So that's another job that you're going to have to factor in and consider that I would imagine jumps immediately into that 4 spot, if not higher. And then Auburn, another SEC job that I think is ranked higher than this Arkansas job that could come open. Do you think we're getting to the point that we have so many jobs open that teams consider riding it out with a coach one more year because the available coaches this season are going to be occupied by these top tier teams in LSU, Florida, Penn State? How many of these teams are going to have to settle for someone that they didn't necessarily want because the job market is so plentiful?
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, you look at those top jobs and you square it on the top 3. I mean, obviously, I think Penn State is probably going to be the most shafted because if you think about the last 10, 15 years of college football, I mean, I get that LSU has the natty, but Penn State has been well more of a consistent brand year in, year out, so that we preach at Ohio State. This is the one year where it's like, man, they're looking like one of those SEC teams when they fall off every 3 or 4 years. Like they're having one of those seasons. So I think they're definitely going to get shafted because you look at LSU and you're like, you can definitely go there and win. I mean, if your coach is somewhat level of competent, you should be able to. Florida as well. I don't think any coach in America doesn't think I can't go to Florida with the talent around there and turn that program around and win. So Penn State's the one who may have an uphill challenge, even though their branding is probably as good as anybody and they've been more consistent. I think they're the one that's going to hurt a little bit. But yeah, I mean, if you have a coach that you don't know about and you're waiting to level up, I would wait because I don't know what your school is, but unless it's Bama, Georgia, Ohio State, I don't know, like out of the top tier, like you're probably not beating out LSU for a coach. You're probably not beating out Florida for a coach. Even Penn State, I mean, I really expect them, if they were able to pay that buyout that we just talked about a little bit ago, they're going to roll out the Brinks truck, and we'll get into that a little later, but they look like they're willing to spend. So if you're okay with your situation right now, which we get a lot of fans who are like, oh, I hate this 9-4 every year, 8-5, whatever your record might be. It's like, yeah, but do you have that guy that's willing to level you up? And we've talked about it. We don't know the candidates right now. You got 3 premier jobs. Are you that 4th guy? If we can't name the top 3, that 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th guy, probably not somebody you want, or probably not somebody who you think is going to take you to the next level on initial hiring.
Yeah, I'm sitting here looking at this list, and I'm thinking about all the things that people yell at us when they watch the show, and they say, "Oh, you think you know more than the coach?" Or you always hear the saying, "Oh, anyone can win at LSU." That every coach before Brian Kelly has won a national championship within their first 4 years at LSU. So, Q, I ask you, I'm looking at this list. If you get hired at LSU tomorrow, how many games are you winning next year? And if you are hired at Penn State, can you win 1 game next year?
I don't know next year at either of them, to be honest.
Time out. You were completely in the portal there during that answer, so let's try that again.
Me personally, yeah, I know anybody can win at LSU, but I'm not anybody.
You're in the portal again. Give me a second. Q miraculously has found worse internet than he has in the desert. Let's try this for a 3rd time. Q, you're hired at LSU or you're hired at Penn State. How many games are you winning at LSU? Can you win 1 game at Penn State? I'm a Hall of Fame Twitter coach, so I'm probably going to have a way more irrational answer than most. So I want people in the chat to let me know how many games you think you could win as the head coach at LSU, because allegedly anyone could win there. And how many can you win 1 game coaching at Kent State for an entire season?
I feel like at LSU, I am gonna fall into I can't screw up about 5 wins on their schedule. I mean, there's FCS schools and there's schools that have no business playing against LSU, especially with the amount of talent. So I'm gonna say I could at least get us to 5 wins just by not screwing it up. If that's not talking the whole game and just letting the coordinators do what they do, that's what it is. But I can luck up us to 5 wins. After that, it might get sketchy. Kent State, I have to look at their record. I don't know if I don't know if I have enough motivational speeches to overcome my coaching to get us to win at Kent State. I have to look at the schedule. But, I mean, my team it'll definitely be lit in the locker room. Definitely play some rap music, play a couple of Ron James edits, and get us going. I don't know if that's going to result in wins, but we're going to have a good time.
I think I can get to 5 wins at LSU just for the simple fact that I understand that I know nothing about football and could get out of the way of the people that actually know something about getting things done. And hopefully the main part of my job is just find people that actually know what they're doing to do my job for me. and look, honestly, it might be a better recipe, because if Billy Napier took the Ron James approach, he might still be coaching at Florida. Like, Ron James ain't going to be calling plays at LSU, I tell you that. The 4 verticals offense has absolutely revolutionized the college football video game. Not so much in real life. I'm not bringing my offense with me to LSU. I'm hiring someone, and I think that was Billy Napier's biggest problem.
All I'm saying is I need you to bring that NCAA playbook that you took an hour to design onto the field and just see what happens.
An hour, bro. I have 1 play on NCAA. It's 4 verticals. Cam gets so mad at me. I'm like, it's an everything beater. Someone's always open. And if they're not, I can run with my quarterback. So again, it's an everything beater.
That's all you need. Ask Miami. They know.
1 play. 1 play. I mean, until that 1 play stops working.
Dude, make sure you do it from the 2-yard line as well.
Q, the last thing I wanted to ask you about on this graphic, Oklahoma State seems like a job that is just staring me in the face of They don't want to spend money. They don't seem to be a school that's going to recruit very well going forward. They're probably not going to overpay like crazy for a coach. Jim Knowles seems to be a name that would make a whole lot of sense here. I know he just got back to Penn State. I don't know if he's going to stick around. I know Penn State has the desire to keep him with whoever the next head coach is, but you'd imagine they make the call, right?
I mean, I would imagine. I mean, Oklahoma State's such an interesting place because you felt like, I mean, obviously they lost their big name booster, but they were the prime NIL school before we actually got NIL. They had $1 billion booster who said, we're going to have the best facilities in the country. We're going to throw money at this program in any way we can. Unfortunately, that was before you could pay players, so sucks to suck. But that was one of those schools you look at it. Now it seems like the money's dried up. I mean, when you have your coach complaining that Oregon should play somebody in their tax bracket in college football, like in Power 4 college football, that's a little crazy. So I think Jim Knowles, he fits there. I mean, I always thought Jim Knowles around, he'd probably be a good head coach. Maybe not at a top program like the ones we cover, but at Oklahoma State, I think he would be a good fit there. I mean, I think he definitely would be able to recruit. His calling card was developing these developing these low recruited players. Obviously, he turned a quarterback into an NFL linebacker. Like we heard Taylor McAllister, whose stats were really good. And when he came here, not so much. But there, he looked like a good player.
No. What stats were really good? He was the 10th rated defender on the defense, Jim Knowles' last defense before he came here by PFF. I'm going to let you in on a secret, guys. There's 11 people on the field. He was ranked 10th. What stats are you talking about?
Okay, so he wasn't the one who was the Big 12 second team guy. Okay, I'm confused with him with somebody else.
He might have been Big 12 second team, but that was Cap.
Okay, well, yeah, good to get Ohio State offer, I guess. But I mean, that's kind of been Jim Knowles' calling card. I mean, even Tommy Eichenberg, before he got here, we know he loved Tommy. Like Tommy,
what are we doing? I know we're like this.
Like I was saying, Tommy wasn't a big time
for the show, but like we don't. Tommy Eichenberg slander.
Can I finish?
No. Take Tommy Eichenberg's name out your mouth and you can finish.
It's too late because I'm talking about it. Anyway, as I was saying, Tommy Eichenberg wasn't a high-rated recruit, but he developed him into a pro. So it's like, I mean, I think that's his calling card, and the place at Oklahoma State is the place where you would do that. And I think Jim Knowles has the chops for it. You talk about head coach. I think he could be a head coach.
I mean, are we giving him credit for developing an elite prospect like that? I mean, we knew from day one what Tommy was going to be.
Chris Drew, I quote, when we watched Tommy Eichenberg's high school film, said he had the worst first step I've ever seen in high school football.
All Big Ten linebacker.
That's all I'm saying. Developed here. So
hashtag developed here.
But I mean, I don't know if you agree, but I think Jim Knowles got the chops for it. And I think if you're going to go low budget, I mean, Jim Knowles just got paid. He may not be looking for a paycheck.
What says low budget about Jim Knowles? That man is the highest paid coordinator in the history of college football, and his favorite things are cigars and sushi. Ain't nothing low budget about that man.
He already got his money. He could. That's what's low budget about him. You want a job, or you just want to walk into the sunset, or you want a job? Okay, we got you at Oklahoma State.
Q, I wanted to pivot a little bit from all of these dumpster fire teams and talk about the top games of the upcoming week, because it's like we already did our recap episode and there's nothing to talk about Ohio State over the bye week. Like, oh, still number one. Yep, still here. So, top games this week. Q, when we look at this graphic, you know me, I always like to start with the negative and point out the crappiest game. And man, I have to say, we are in for an amazing week of college football because I love every single game on this graphic.
Yeah, I'm looking around like, where's that crappy game? And I'm like, there might not be one. I'm actually thoroughly impressed.
I'm thoroughly impressed. I mean, honestly, Penn State might be the worst team on this graphic.
Yeah, you got a point there.
I'm lying. I just watched NC State lose to let Pitt put a 50 burger on them.
Hey, Pitt's rolling.
They are. They just had a true freshman set the single game passing record for a true freshman on set. I think he threw for like 400 yards at that game. But Q, when you look at this, what game excites you the most? Because I mean, preseason, everybody had this week circled, and the biggest game of the week was absolutely, honestly, it might have been Ohio State, Penn State, or Florida, Georgia. And I don't think either one of them are in contention for biggest game of the week.
Yeah, honestly, we talk so much Big 12. I'm looking at that bottom right corner, and I'm like, Cincinnati and Utah, sign me up.
That is absolutely a must-watch game.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun all year watching the Big 12. That's a game I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have to tune into that one. I'm gonna have to do that before the drinks start rolling for Halloween.
Look at the time. That's an after dark game. You're gonna have to try to make sure that you're sober enough to catch that one.
Catch it on rewatch, fellas. You heard it here first.
Well, it's technically, Halloween's on Friday, so you should be good to watch football. Are you doubling? Are you going? Or is it a multi-Halloween night?
Yeah, it's a 3-day Halloween. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Saturday has the bar crawls, and I'm trying to get one of my friends to hold us down with the tickets to the hotel party. So it might be a long weekend for your boy.
One costume, multiple costumes.
Oh, I got 3. So obviously we've seen the patented Professor Snape costume. My hair is way too much for the wig these days. But consolation, Snape is black now. So I don't even have to be black Snape. I can just be Snape and go natural.
And people are gonna be like, why is that man wearing a dress?
It's a robe, sir. And I'm learning my spells. Whichever spell gets me a number, those are the ones I'm learning.
Okay, that's one costume.
Okay, I got Ken from the Barbie movie, Rebel Rocker Ken with the white jacket on the music video, fire costume. I wore it and signed 6 autographs last year.
What do you sign?
Next question.
And then your third costume.
Oh, okay. We're gonna get canceled. Why you even ask that question? What I have, Kim.
Your freak ass was thinking of something. I was asking what name you signed.
I thought you said, what do you sign?
Yeah, like what name do you give? You go by 500 different names and you're dressed like a Barbie doll. What are you telling people your name is? If someone asks for your autograph, what do they like?
Oh, I'm
right, Ken?
I'm just Ken. There's a black Ken in the movie. I'm him.
Just Ken.
I'm just Ken. Third costume. So you've seen it before. It's my priest costume from the Renaissance Fair. Rolling that one back out because I do want to get a Top Gun costume, but I don't know if it'll be here in time.
Yeah, we're very heavy on the holy costumes around here. I was Black Jesus and a nun in college.
Ooh, damn! I kind of want to. I hope you have a picture of that nun because I want to see that.
Yeah, I have on. It's like the nun from How High when they're dressed up and they have the glasses on. Yeah, I'll grab some college Halloween pictures for the show. But back to college football, man. Ohio State, Penn State. We're gonna get to that in a second. Is Miami on upset alert here against SMU?
I mean, I think at this point you gotta put Miami always on upset alert.
It's officially that time of year. Josh Pate has been talking all month about it being Cocktober, and this is the month when South Carolina sneaks up. And if you watch our show, you know how we feel about South Carolina. That team stinks, and they're on the verge of going defeated in the month of October. But I feel like this is also spooky season for the Miami program because this is when Mario, it's like It's like Teen Wolf. This man turns into a bozo in October and just forgets how to coach a football team. And you never know what version of Miami you're going to get this time of year. Is Miami one of the, I feel comfortable saying Miami is a top 4 talent team in the country, but are they going to show up and play like it?
Yeah, I mean, that's the true question. I mean, SMU obviously rolling off a good season last season, not ranked right now, but I mean, I don't know which Miami is going to show up. And I think that's the question. It's not even a matter of who they play. It's like, how well are they playing against themselves? Well, Ohio State's the only one that can beat Ohio State. There are a couple teams that can beat Miami, but even the teams that can't beat Miami finds a way to beat themselves. I mean, I think if Carson Beck turns the corner, is not turning the ball over, I think Miami will be fine. I think they have enough talent. They'll roll in that game. But again, crazy, stranger things have happened. And Miami tends to fall into that category of finding their way in games they should not be in.
Q, I'm looking at this game at the top, and is this even the best game in the SEC?
I would say no. If I looked at that Vanderbilt Texas game, I'm calling upset alert. Like, I feel like Texas is due, and I get it. We gave them a hard time on yesterday's show. We know they have the talent. We know Sark can coordinate an offense, except against Matt Patricia, but that's another category. I would say I think Texas gets the upset against Vanderbilt. I mean, I think Vanderbilt's a solid team. And again, it's not like you look at that V and you're like, really, they are up there? I've watched them play a few times this year. I think Vanderbilt's a solid team. Not great, but solid. But Texas, I don't know. Sometimes I look at that game and I'm like, upset alert written all over it. I don't know what the odds are, but might sprinkle some money on that one.
Yeah, that's definitely one that I'm looking at for I'm rooting so hard for Texas this weekend because it has the potential to do so many things for me as an Ohio State fan. One, it has the potential to drive a nail through the Diego Pavia Heisman campaign. I have never soured. And Q, I like the obnoxious quarterbacks, athletes, the people that talk shit. I hate Diego Pavia. This entire Diego Pavia experience has been miserable to me. I don't think it has been so manufactured and forced that it's like, you know what it feels like, Hugh, this Diego Pavia campaign?
What?
When someone gives themselves their own nickname.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
No comment on that.
Back in my day, you used to have to earn your nickname. Someone had to give you that. You don't get to name yourself.
As a person who's named themselves before, I digress. Continue. Go ahead.
But that's what this Heisman campaign feels like, man. It feels so forced. I see the Theo Vaughn, you want to win the Heisman so bad that you're going to have Theo Vaughn fake date your mom. Come on now. Pimping out your mom for the Heisman. Yeah, where do we draw the line?
It's a little much. I mean, I will say it too. Another part about this game is I get it. Diego Pavia, he makes a lot of plays with his legs. Unfortunately, Texas has two guys walking around that I've been talking about all season. I don't care how good Texas is. Colin Simmons and Anthony Hill are good. I don't care what they say. And with them walking around, I don't think he's going to be scrambling like that. And I think he gets hit a couple times by those guys. He'd be like, yeah, coach, let's pass the ball.
Yeah, so the Diego Pavia campaign comes to an end, and then we boost the Texas resume. They're already at an inflated 20, and you could make the argument that this team doesn't even deserve to be ranked. And if they beat the number 9 team in the country, who's also overrated, then you could potentially see this Texas team start flirting with a first 4 out type of team. And it's like, oh, well, look who Ohio State beat week 1. That's almost a borderline playoff team. We're already back to line about the resume.
You know you're having a bad season when people say you're at an inflated 20. You're not having a good year, Jesus.
Oh, man, Q. Again, another game that feels like it's lost its excitement, this Georgia-Florida game. I mean, it's so boring I'm yawning, and it has nothing to do with the fact that we're recording in the middle of the night. No, this Georgia-Florida game was a game that I had circled at the beginning of the year that I thought would be a blockbuster game that would be deciding the SEC. And now you have Billy Napier out. This Florida team they're just hoping to keep this roster intact. And I really don't think they have much of a chance against this Georgia game. How disappointing is it that it feels like because of incompetent coaching, we've been robbed of two massive matchups that were supposed to be ranked matchups between a potential 1 and 2 matchup of Penn State, Ohio State, and now the lackluster Georgia, Florida matchup. Could you have seen this season coming with the amount of turnover that we've seen, the amount of top 5, top 10 preseason teams that are no longer ranked or inflated at 20? Like,
I mean, no. The craziness of this season, and again, how many Big 12 teams I see ranked that are in playoff contention is still wild to me on the come up of them. But shout out to them. But yeah, I mean, I could have seen this coming for not Texas. I could have seen this coming for Florida because the last few years it felt like people were betting on Florida's potential, and it fell through. Unfortunately for them, I think they are a super talented team, and we saw it against inflated 20 Texas. But we just haven't seen that consistently enough. So, I mean, again, they could come and find a way to make a game about it. I think Georgia sitting at 5, a little fraudulence in there. I don't believe in this Georgia team like I have in the Georgia teams of old, but I think Georgia kind of handles business here. But definitely, I mean, Penn State not even ranked against Ohio State. And you just know, like, gearing you up, those have been the games, like, I know how people feel about Michigan now. I mean, that's how I felt about Penn State like forever, where I'm like, it's going to be a dogfight. I don't care where they're ranked. It's going to be a great game because they always are great games. And how as bad as they are, for the first time in a long time, I really hope it's not a great game. I really don't. So, yeah, that has been disappointing with their output. And obviously, Texas had an inflated 20.
You let Ohio State go out here and lay an egg against Penn State, and you will see the lunatic fringe in rare form. Q, I said we're going to talk about this game. We are going to preview it later in the week, but I just don't find it that interesting. I don't think Indiana, Maryland is going to be much of a matchup. I think Signetti is going to be disrespectful to them and what he does with that score. USC, Nebraska, another game that people probably had high expectations for at the beginning of the season, and again, turns into a bit of a dud. Matt Rule, too busy flirting with Penn State and being choice like number 7 while he still has a team that he's supposed to be coaching with a 5-star quarterback. USC feels like they are 2 years away, but like if I'm a USC fan, I'm happy with this season because I have at least seen competent physicality from my team that doesn't look like they're out there, trying to win OT 7s and 7-on-7. Like it is now looks like Lincoln Riley is fielding football teams and not 7-on-7 teams. So I think that is a step in the right direction. And at the beginning of the season, it's felt like a make or break season. And I think regardless of how this season shakes out, I think Lincoln Riley took a step with this program. And if they continue to acquire talent like the way they have, you see them with the top class or top 5 class in the country at the moment, 25, 24 plus kids signed. I think they're heading in the right direction.
Yeah, USC had a non-inflated 23. So shout out to them. I feel like they have earned their spot so far. Yeah, I mean, a little bit disappointing with year 2 of the Rayola project. I mean, we'll see if Matt Rule is there for year 3 and if they can turn it around. I know that's the year they're aiming for. Ron thinks no. I think probably not. But hey, it's college football. You never know what'll happen. I mean, we got Texas A&M at 3 and Texas Tech at number 10 now? 11? 13. So didn't see that coming either. So we'll see. Yeah, I don't think it's much of a game. I think USC just goes there and handles business as they should and continue to build that non-fraudulency.
Q, I wanted to pivot from the top games and talk about the top players in the nation. The On3 Heisman poll, they have kept their job as the official graphics provider of the Buckeye Roast by including at least one Buckeye on the list. They were on the chopping block because they were disrespecting the Buckeyes. You pulled the official odds. Julian Sane was where?
I think it was 3 or 4. No, he's third, plus 400.
He was third. He was plus 400 at 3. I'm looking at this graphic. It looks like they used AI. That Ohio State logo's a little blurry. I digress. Q, how long is the disrespect going to last?
Yeah, I think Diego Pavia is moving back after the weekend. if I'm going to predict Texas to beat them, he won't be there. I mean, I kind of like that top four. I think Marcel Reed has balled out to this point. Don't think he's as good as Julian saying, but I think he has made some dynamic plays, especially with his legs. Fernando Mendoza, can't say much about him. I mean, week in, week out, he's consistent. Ty Simpson after that, and I didn't check his stats really, so I probably should look that up. But after that close game with Missouri, I don't know if he's solidified that number one spot.
Close game with they had a close game with South Carolina where
South Carolina, sorry.
South Carolina, where he completed 55% of his passes and still remains number one in the poll. Drum roll. I have some breaking news. Q. These people don't watch football.
Yeah. I'm like, I would guess he didn't have a top number one Heisman performance if that game was so close. I see most of it. I don't think he performed that well.
Q, you've absolutely buried the lead this whole time that this graphic has been on the screen. We might have to. I'm looking at the soundboard. Do I have sad music for what just happened here? Like, are you looking at the graphic, Q? Do you see what's going on?
I see. What is with that music?
Q, pour out a drink. Ruben Bain, for the first time, has not made an appearance on the Heisman poll of On 3. The narrative is dead. The agenda is over. His reign of terror on this show has officially come to an end after 9 weeks. Clap it up. It was a good run for Ruben Bain.
I can't believe I missed that. I figured he was tied at 10 and just right off the screen. Oh man. Yeah, it's a big surprise there. Ruben Bain is not winning the Heisman.
But Q, do you know why that jumped out to me? Because Ruben Bain made that massive leap on his bye week from 8 to 3, and Julian Sain stays at 5. Is it rigged or is it rigged?
I don't know, man. It seems like in the offseason, we might have to get the On 3 Heisman people here for an interview, because this week, the week has been as stressful as probably the college football playoff poll of what is going to come out. So, yeah, we will see where he ends up. I have a feeling if Miami gets rolling again, he'll sneak back in here, because you can't keep a good Ruben Bain down.
No, you can't hold Ruben Bain down. We talked about it with our guy Mike on the show last week. If you missed that, go back and find that episode. We had our guy Cleveland Mike on here, and we talked about this Heisman race. And it feels like now that Marcel Reed's creeping into the conversation, it might be a different story, but I don't know how many people have been watching him up to this point. So we'll see what Vegas thinks about Marcel Reed. But it feels like Ty Simpson, Fernando Mendoza, and Julian Sain are pretty much in a win and you win situation. If you keep winning games, you're going to win the Heisman. Julian Sain and Fernando Mendoza are going to have to play each other. Ty Simpson has to make it through the rest of the SEC. It seems like whoever does it cleanly without blowing a game or completely crapping down their leg, I think is going to win the Heisman.
Yeah, and one of the guy that we talked about, your most exciting guy in college football, Haynes King. I mean, I think he has a chance with Georgia down the line. If he goes crazy in that game and puts up stats, I mean, he's huddling around the top 5. I don't know what his are on the actual official Heisman odds, but I would say if he had a big-time game against Georgia, goes crazy, gets a win, I could see him making it. I don't think he will win it, but he'll definitely be in the top 3 if he's able to do that.
Absolutely. You know, I've been driving the Heisman bus for Haynes King now since the beginning of the season, and that's a guy that I hope keeps balling out, and I think he embodies everything that makes college football special. He plays for a team that, I mean, undefeated. They might be actually contending for a championship this year, but it's a program that isn't a traditional power in football, and he's just going out there and balling and putting his body on the line when probably not going to be playing on Sundays unless they start another football league that plays on Sundays, because it's not going to be in the NFL. Hugh, speaking of the NFL, there are people trying. There are 4 terrorists in the AFC North, and they're known as the Bengals, the Browns, the Ravens, and the Steelers, man. And every week they're terrorizing 4 American cities, man. And I just pray for Steelers Nation, man, because I talked about it on the show yesterday about people call me a fair weather fan, and I'm like, no, my cardiologist said you can't be one or the other. It's Ohio State football or the Steelers, and the Steelers are just, this is what they do to me, Q.
They're not playing at a high level. Do you know what I'm saying? Like something they have to perform better. They have to put the
bro. How you don't get up for Sunday Night Football if you can't get up for nothing else? Ain't nothing else on but you at home in front of your family, your kids.
I would not do not
make that name on your back mean something. Make them 3 stars on your chest mean something.
Debo. It wasn't me not performing. I'm just trying to let you know. That's why I'm like you said. I think I could be like your counselor, bro, because it's okay. It's all gonna be okay. Everything's still gonna be okay.
Joe, you came from a line of losers. Y'all gonna always be losers.
Damn, now you being disrespectful. I'm trying to just be here for you.
I'm sorry, Joe, that was a personal attack. It's not about you, Debo. I'm frustrated.
I feel you. I'm here for you, my brother.
That's why I don't watch the Steelers, because I don't want to get on here and call Q a loser.
From a whole line of losers.
It's crazy. That's what these Steelers. This is what these Steelers will do to you, man.
Well, fortunately, I don't feel your pain because the Ravens actually came out and played some football on Sunday. So, back in the race.
Yeah, if you go on a 4-game winning streak, you guys can get back to 500. I digress. Q, I feel like this has become the coaching carousel roast because that's all we talk about anymore on this show, because it's like it feels like the Buckeyes are inevitable and everybody else is in flux throughout this season with all of these different coaches being fired and all of these openings popping up. And we did a show yesterday talking about, is Ohio State poised to capitalize off of all of the recruiting opportunities with all of the coaching changes because they have so much stability? And Penn State said, you know what? It took your coordinator before and I'll do it again. Brian Hartline's name is being floated in Penn State head coaching rumors. Q, are you buying it?
I, am not surprised Brian Hartline's name is being floated out there. I mean, I am surprised Penn State is going after everybody who wears an Ohio State logo. I mean, Larry Johnson is what next up for head coach? If Brian Hartline doesn't take the job? Like, Jesus. Yeah, no, I'm not surprised. The thing is, and I don't know what the rumors are, I don't feel like Brian Hartline would take that job. So
I have some interesting context here. Okay. Last year, he did interview for that West Virginia job, and it was rumored that he was very interested in that job, and it was one that he would have been willing to take, but was terrible throughout the interview process and was not able to land that job. I bet you West Virginia is kicking themselves in the ass for that decision now that they have Rich Rod, who is just getting mollywopped week in and week out for that West Virginia program. It hurts my heart. Pat McAfee actually just told an interesting story about West Virginia doing so poorly that people that had committed money to their NIL was like, I'm not paying for this shit. And said, I'm not giving these kids the money that I promised them. And Pat McAfee had to step in and make some of those kids right on some of that money because of people pulling out deals. So, I mean, Brian Hartline was interested in that West Virginia job. You know, Penn State's right in that same footprint. If you were going to take a job, you look at the jobs that are available. Florida, Penn State, potentially Florida State. How many LSU? How many more better jobs are coming available? You're not getting the Ohio State job unproven. So if you're going to go out there and spread your wings, is this not the cycle to do it?
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say it's the cycle do. I mean, it depends on where Brian Hartline wants to be. Now, one, I feel like Brian Hartline is probably a good people manager, probably better than he's going to be as an OC. And he definitely, it's only his first year, so we will see. But I think if he wanted to go that route and be that up and coming coordinator, turning head coach, he's probably going to need another couple of years. But I don't think you need to do that to be a head coach. I think Brian Hartline shown he can recruit. He's shown the players like him, and that's obviously the obvious start to being a head coach. You got to go put together a staff. Can he do that? Does he have the connections? I don't know. Probably not in this early stage. I don't know if he's been in college football that long enough to have built a circle like that, especially at a big time Power 5 position. So and also too, does he want to commit to going against Ohio State and trying to overthrow them in the Big Ten? I mean, that's his school. That's why he came back here to coach and additionally take the job. And maybe his dream job is to be the Ohio State coach down the line. And that makes me feel like West Virginia probably not going to run to Ohio State really anytime, or rarely. Some of these other conference programs, probably not. And I don't know if he can necessarily go get an SEC job right now. Maybe he'll take the risk for the recruiting pluses that it would give. But I feel like Brian Hartline would go someplace, just probably not in the Big Ten. I feel like he's probably gonna find his way to an ACC job, a Big 12 job, something like that. I don't know if that's necessarily, but I feel like, or a lower tier SEC job. I feel like that's where he would be to get his start. I don't know if he would take another Big Ten job right now, and that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I just disagree there. I think this is an opportunity for him to, if you were going to make that leap, you want to make sure that you do it with the full support and backing of whoever is looking for you, and to make sure that you go somewhere with the resources that allow you to be successful. Brian Hartline, and I mean, it's no secret. It's not like people are coming here for nothing. Like our wide receivers, every single one of our starting wide receivers drives a Lamborghini. Like, that is a fact. Brian Hartline is going to need the resources to be able to recruit the way that he recruits. It's not like people are just coming here because they think Brian Hartline's a smooth talker. Like, it takes more than just being a great recruiter. It takes the resources, and I think he's fully aware of that. So why not take an opportunity at a place like Penn State, at a place like Florida, at a place like LSU, all places that are willing to invest in you and give you the things that you need to win? Because if not, why not just stick around until you do have that God tier type of offer where you can get whatever you want and command whatever you want? Because being able to get whatever job you want and then being able to command whatever you want at a job are two different things. So I think Brian Hartline's waiting for the perfect opportunity. And if Penn State gets desperate enough, that could be the opportunity. Do I think Brian Hartline's going to take that job? No. Did I think Jim Knowles was going to take that job? No. So I don't break news.
I mean, I think Jim Knowles obviously had more reasoning to take the Penn State job. But I mean, I have a feeling like Hartline could be a good head coach, especially in the future, give it some time. And again, the resources of a Florida, with LSU and Florida out there, it's hard for me to say, like, yeah, I'm gonna leave Ohio State. I'm gonna go to Penn State. It's like, no, if I'm leaving, I want one of those two jobs. They're not Bama, they're not Georgia, but they're definitely up there as far as talent and resources. And that's kind of where you want to be at. You just don't want to find yourself in a job. Obviously, James Franklin, we talked about who's the best coach for the job. We talked about, you brought his name up about 1,000 times. James Franklin didn't win the big games, but he didn't fail out at Penn State. And it's like, if you go there, you're Hartline, and you start putting together 9-win, 8-win years, your first time as a head coach. Maybe you didn't necessarily know how to put your staff together. Like, how long until the heat turns up? And you might get a little more leeway at maybe a Florida or LSU.
I still contend that James Franklin's a better coach than every name that's been associated with that job. That's not Urban Meyer.
I agree. He got fired. That's just what it's like. I'm not. What kind of expectation they got? I'm gonna beat Ohio State year in, year out? No. Like, okay, I'm not going there if that's the expectation. Like, or at least with some timeline for me to fail. Because think about it, James Franklin they gave him a lot of time, didn't get over the hump. Boy, they're probably on edge right now at Penn State. They're just like, bring us anybody who can beat those guys. And it's going to be really hard to do. And you're going to look at it in 3 years later, you're going to be like, I really couldn't beat those guys. I haven't built it up yet. And they're going to be like, well, where's the next guy? So that's just why I would take that job if I was him.
Q, if he were to take the job, something that no Buckeye fan wants to think about, but it's something that could happen one day, maybe sooner than later. Who do you think is the best replacement? Because there's a name that we hear regularly associated with replacing Brian Hartline, and I want to get your thoughts on, do you think he is the guy?
Oh man, well, we're definitely gonna have good music here at Ohio State. Shout out to Kenny G.
That's not the Kenny G you were talking about?
Oh man, he'd be a great receiver coach. Smooth in the routes. Smooth in and out of the routes. But who else? Who else now that you've got my hopes up?
When we say Kenny G, we're obviously referring to Kenny Guyton, former Ohio State quarterback, current Wisconsin quarterback coach. He used to coach wide receivers there, was a wide receivers coach at Arkansas, Colorado State, Louisiana Tech, Houston, all over the place. Former Buckeye. You know, Buckeyes love. If Ohio State fans had their choice, they would only hire Buckeyes on the staff, and obviously we wouldn't end up with Ryan Day. We wouldn't end up with Coach Laughlin, and the list goes on. Obviously, you have to go outside the talent pool. Do you think Kenny Guyton has done enough and has enough experience to come in and take that job, especially following in the shoes of someone with the reputation of Brian Hartline?
Has he done enough? Probably no. I mean, I think he did a serviceable. I mean, obviously, coach at Houston. I think he did a good job at Arkansas. Obviously, Wisconsin has just been a dumpster fire really since he's got there. So I guess you really can't blame him. But when you talk about the reputation of Heartline, I mean, I love the name Kenny G. I would love for him to come back to Ohio State to be a successful wide receiver coach. You just look at it and you're like, well, if we're going from Heartline, who's the next best out there? And I feel like you can probably go some places before you go to Kenny G. Not say he couldn't. Obviously, if he was able to reproduce the talent Ohio State's pulled in year in, year out, yeah, he will be one of those coaches. But is he somebody who's going to walk in the door and they'd be like, well, Hartline's out the door, Kenny G's coming in? Like, yeah, I'm right sold on to this wide receiver coach. If I'm a high wide receiver prospect, maybe not quite there yet, but I mean, I do think Kenny G is a good coach, and I do think he will be a good wide receiver coach or he's quarterback coach now. I think he's going to be a good coach down the line, but that wouldn't be the first place I would go if I'm Ohio State replacing Brian Hartline, if it was me.
I mean, is this not the most desirable job in the country to come be the wide receivers coach? Because I think in some scenarios, when you think about following a legend, and I mean, you could argue that Brian Hartline is one of the best position coaches, if not the best position coach in the country, especially when it comes to recruiting. You are going to be following a legend, at least on the recruiting trail, given what he was able to do in his time at Ohio State. But then you have to think, all right, well, how much of that had to do, again, we mentioned every single one of our wide receivers drives a Lamborghini. Ryan Day's worst quarterback in his tenure broke the FBS passing record in his last year in college football. He won a national championship with a fifth-year senior. He broke Drew Brees' every single season record with Dwayne Haskins. He proved that he could do it with a mobile quarterback in Justin Fields. He's put how many first-round wide receivers in the league and proven ability to constantly not only feed these wide receivers, but also make sure that there's a quarterback capable enough to give them the ball. How much does that factor into the success that Brian Hartline has been able to have here at Ohio State?
I mean, I obviously all the resources around Ohio State factors into that, and I think Brian Hartline, obviously following that receiver room with, from the Michael Thomas, the Paris Campbell, Terry McLaurin, obviously coached him in their last year, and built that on top of that, and started bringing in high talent. I mean, I think Ryan Day being there is the keyhole, and people know Ryan Day's offense. They're going to want to play in that offense, and Brian Hartline was kind of the perfect marriage to that. But I think Brian Hartline now has built his own resume. Obviously, we know all the wide receivers he's put in the NFL in the first round. Now, basically, you come here and you're the best wide receiver or top two, you're probably going to end up being a first rounder and playing on Sundays. So the chances are pretty high there. So I think he has his own reputation now. But I think the resources at Ohio State, you can go out and get the next best guy from Brian Hartline. Like that alarm bell should ring for any wide receiver coach across the nation. That's why it's like no shout to Kenny G, but like who's the next best out there? Do I go for Alabama's wide receiver coach? Do I go for, I don't know, any other wide receiver coach that I feel like is really good? I say that because I'm a big fan of Bama's wide receiver coach, but I'm just saying, like, you can go anybody. You can go to the NFL, grab a coach. Like, Ohio State is just a blueprint landmark if you want to coach wide receivers, and you have all the stuff that where if you are a good coach, it's going to show.
Hear me out.
Okay.
Billy Napier.
I mean,
is that disrespectful? Not disrespectful?
I mean, I'm never mad at head coaches coming here to be position coaches, but I don't know if Billy Napier is quite the name people want to hear.
Vernell Brown, Dallas Wilson. Like, I mean, he's proven it on the trail. He was the wide receiver coach at Alabama from 13 to 16. I mean, got some free time on his hands. If Brian Hartline makes a departure, my first call, and if Ryan Day doesn't want to be that disrespectful, I'll make the call and say, hey, Billy, what are you doing?
I mean, I like the current Alabama wide receiver coach, Marcus Shepard, a lot. So, I mean, that would probably be my first call. But, I mean, heck, Billy Napier's shown. If he could do it at Bama, you could do it anywhere. So you can certainly do it at Ohio State with the resources. He's going to come in here and be like, hey, can we get a little more NIL money? You're like, what are y'all doing? Let's let the let's let the floods go. But I mean, hey, if you come in here and coach technique produce, I'm all for it. I don't care what your name is. We got flack when Matt P was hired. So yeah, I don't care.
Absolutely, Q. I wanted to get to one more commercial break before we get into our question of the day.
Hey guys, we got a lot of cool stuff going on the channel right now, so make sure you like and subscribe. Obviously, Ron and Q are doing a great job going daily for the Buckeye Roast, and then me and Tyler are sprinkled throughout the week doing all things Ohio sports. The channel hit 3,000 subs super quickly, and we couldn't do that without you guys, and we want to continue to grow. So make sure you like and subscribe, and we appreciate you guys as always. What does my little brother do? He goes, peace.
Q, we hit 3,000 subscribers last Tuesday. It is now Tuesday again, and we're at 3,400.
Yeah, oh, quite a week for the boys over here at Dead Air Sports. Yeah, I mean the channel's moving, man. It's a good time. So shout out to all the members we have and the people that come in and watch regular day and who's been sharing the channel, sending it to their friends. I mean, I think both for me and Ron, one of our favorite things that people see, like, hey, we didn't know like this channel existed covering Ohio State. And we come listen to you guys. We have so much fun. And I said it yesterday at the end of that show. I'm like, bro, we have too much fun. Way too late at night doing this show, but it's always a good time. And then when I find my way to wake up on a Friday because I'm not at Slippery Rock alumni reunion, it's a great time. So definitely appreciate everybody hitting that like button, hitting those comments, subbing. I mean, Ron puts a ton of work in behind the scenes that you don't see, so he greatly appreciated it. And me, as the freeloader I am over there just trying to talk some movies when I'm not here, I greatly appreciate it too.
Oh, man, we absolutely appreciate it and all the growth that we've seen on the channel. But we have a question for you guys, and I have a question for you, Q. A lot has been made about the Ohio State schedule, and I have officially reached the point of the season where I think that nobody is good except for the Buckeyes. And I'm looking at this schedule, and I'm like, maybe people have an argument that the Buckeyes have a 2-game schedule. Q, the first part of the question. Do you buy into this narrative that the Buckeyes have a 2-game schedule in Texas and Michigan this season?
No, I don't buy that. I have too much respect for the Big Ten, and even though you don't have those high-flying top 10 teams flying around, I mean, we've talked about USC ad nauseum. We talked about Illinois. We talked about these teams that go beat these other teams and other conferences that people talk about and don't get credit for them. So I think the Big Ten doesn't have a lot of great teams this year. We won't know. I don't know if we'll see Oregon. We'll see Indiana as long as we continue to win out. So that looks like the game there. That'll be another test. But, I mean, I feel like even in the Big Ten, you're going to have some games that are not easy to win, and they may not look good on paper. They may not look sexy in the headlines, but it's not going to be a 2-game season. You're going to have about 3 or 4 games where it's not as easy to win as it looks. Ohio State's been making it look easy. I'm like, damn, okay, who can beat this team? And that's why we're saying that. But I promise you, insert Team X into this position, those are not easy places to go and get a win.
Absolutely. I'm torn between, I don't think any of these other teams could have gone and done better, or I've had the same success, but at the same time, it still doesn't mean that these teams are good. You know what I mean? Like,
I'll say
good.
about it, Ron, if you just was like, oh, let's just throw Missouri on Ohio State's schedule and we go beat them by 14, 20, people are gonna be like, you still have a 2-game schedule. That's not changing. If you threw, I guess Vanderbilt's top 10 right now, but if we played Vanderbilt in week 2 of the season and beat them by 14 points and then they go down and lose 2 games in the SEC, you're not getting any credit for that win. So it really doesn't matter. So they're going to criticize, but you flip those teams, they'll still be saying the same thing.
Yeah, we've had countless episodes this season talking about the Ohio State fatigue and the narrative against the Buckeyes, and it just feels like no matter what the Buckeyes do, it's not going to be good enough for anybody, and not good enough for Ron James either, because I'm looking at this schedule, and it does put the question in the back of my head. If the Buckeyes don't see Indiana in the Big Ten championship game, are they going to be tested going into the playoffs? Like, I think it's so necessary that they make it to this Big Ten championship game, because if they don't play Indiana, it feels like that Clemson team that didn't play anyone, they ultimately ended up winning the national championship after everybody spent an entire season saying they didn't play anyone in the ACC. Where are you leaning? Is the Buckeyes that Clemson team that is just going to steamroll through the Big Ten and then have a showdown? The showdown with Indiana complicates this as far as the 2-game schedule narrative, because, okay, cool, it's a 2-game schedule, and then you're going to have to play the number 2 team in the country to end the season. There's no sidestepping around it like Notre Dame by not playing a conference championship game. You're not playing in an inferior conference like the SEC where you're going to be playing a team that already has a loss. Like, you could be playing an undefeated Indiana team. So, I mean, this 2-game schedule narrative is like, okay, where is the narrative about, okay, good, look at Notre Dame. They played 2 games and lost them, and now they're not going to play a conference championship game. So, what's your point?
I mean, in a normal year, I may agree, because I think there are some to these teams who don't play tough conference schedules, and like, once you get out of that and get into the playoffs, you got to face some juggernauts. Problem with college football this season is there are no juggernauts, like, other than Ohio State, who's looked consistent from.
You're lucky my hand wasn't on the mouse, because I would have dropped you before you could even say or Ohio State.
We're covering Ohio State, so clearly I won't demean them, but I'm saying there just really aren't, outside of Ohio State, there aren't just the juggernauts out there. I mean, we will see what Indiana is, hopefully in the Big Ten Championship. I do want to see that game. But it's like, are you really afraid to play Bama? Are you really afraid to play Georgia? Are you really afraid to play Miami? Are you really afraid to play Texas if they sneak in? It's like, in a normal year, like, yeah, I would be like, oh, Bama's coming down the line. It's probably going to be a game. It's just not a normal year. So it's like, who is really tested? Is Texas Tech tested because they got now 5 teams in the Big 12 who have all found their ways to be ranked? I don't think anybody's going to walk into the playoffs saying, oh, shoot, we got to play Texas Tech. Like, and they could be the best team out there, or they could be the second best team out there, but nobody's going to say that. So there's just not enough juggernauts to criticize Ohio State for playing a weak schedule, because, like, when everybody's super, no one is. And there's one elite and a lot of supers right now.
Yeah, I think we need like a new phrase, like, when everyone's mid, there's no za, or something like that.
It just feels like
that's all I have. Go ahead.
I'm just saying. I don't know if you have an answer, but is there any team out there that you're like, we played a weak schedule, we got to see them down the line? Like, do you have any team that beacons that on you? No. Exactly.
We've reached a point of the season where people are like, can Ohio State beat the Browns?
Yeah, we'll shut Quinshon Judkins down. We'll get them out the way.
I mean, I'm the biggest Austin Sareveld fan there is. I promise you, I will not be tuning in to watch him try to block Myles Garrett.
Locked down. No pressures, no sex.
I said I was going to comment on that post about them playing. I was like, I don't know. If we're doing this, that we're going to have someone play all-time left tackle and kick Austin Sareveld over to right tackle.
You sure you don't want to see Tegra deal with Mason Graham?
And that's all we have for today on the Buckeye Roast. Q, let the people know where they can find you. On that note, because I definitely don't want to hear or see that. You're gonna have me looking like Debo.
Oh man. Oh, everybody, make sure you like that video. Appreciate everybody tuning in. It's always fun. If you want to find me, I'm City Boy Quentin on Twitter. Find Josh on Instagram. But most importantly, I'm here Monday through Friday on Dead Air Sports. So make sure you hit that like button, hit that sub button. If you have a friend out there that needs content, or those people are like, hey man, we're lacking on shows. I need a morning show to get me going. Well, you know exactly where to find it here at Dead Air Sports. Ron, where can they find you at?
You can find me here Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. for the Buckeye Roast right here with my guy, Q. You can catch me in the Bleacher Report app Saturdays after the game. You can catch me in the Bleacher Report app for instant reactions with Chris Drew for post games for every Ohio State game this season on Bleacher Report and the Ohio State team stream. And then you can catch me on Twitter. That's at 2Ts2_TEES, soon to be 2 belts if Ohio State wins another national championship. Q, that's all I have for today. You know how this thing ends. It's always go Bucks. And of course, OH.
IO.
Hey guys, we got a lot of cool stuff going on the channel right now, so make sure you like and subscribe. Obviously, Ron and Q are doing a great job going daily for the Buckeye Roast, and then me and Tyler are sprinkled throughout the week doing all things Ohio sports. The channel hit 3,000 subs super quickly, and we couldn't do that without you guys, and we want to continue to grow. So make sure you like and subscribe, and we appreciate you guys as always. What's my little brother doing? He goes,
when I hit the scene, everybody know me. 40 tuck in my skinny jeans. I'm so fucking low key. All hundreds, finna go get some cream. This another show week. It's a show week. Out the 7 days, I gotta pick up 40. Mama told me, baby, get you some sleep. Gotta turn down, move slow, please. I go home, rock my son to sleep. Gotta stay awake, get more of these. Nigga, you mad cause you ain't getting no cheese. Whole hood charge you whole fee. Sometimes there's no one to watch over me. Too broke, can't get close to me. Send an op, say hello to me. Number respect when approaching me. And don't act like you don't know it's me. Know that bitch somewhere close to me. And I ain't got no reason to be on that. You the one to vent your homie. Even though I really be on that. Beat a nigga up if you want that. You can't even buy a whole lunch, Jack. Better get a clock and punch that. Used to run my hood like a rugrat. We went to war with one guy. Ain't lying, we'll go, they come back. All on defense, bust back. So they want me whack. How they shots out the back of the lat. I spit that shit that you get high to and make you want clap after that. Then try some shit that make you contemplate on it after the fact. Rap about the shit you living, nigga, what happened to that? I don't give a fuck about the rap game no more, nigga, I'm after the check. I ain't with the rap beef, nigga say my name once, I'm after his neck. Reach for 150, I'm